Dear members of the State Commission, colleagues, dear ladies and gentlemen, the State Commission on Piloted Space Vehicles decided to certify the prime and the backup crews for Soyuz TMI-15M. Earlier, the Chief Engineers Commission and the State Commission listened to the reports regarding the technical readiness of the Soyuz vehicle and the rocket, as well as all land services decided to approve the launch of Soyuz TMI-15M on the 24th of November with the next expedition to the International Space Station. So I would like to say that we're in the final stages and the Soyuz vehicle has been already delivered to the launch site. Also, I would like to ask the Chief Engineer, Yuri Lonchikov, report on the prime and the backup crews. Dear and esteemed members of the State Commission, the expeditions 42 and 43 crew members are as follows. Prime crew, Shkaplerov, Anton Nikolaevich, commander of Soyuz TMI-15M. Samantha Cristoforetti, flight engineer, Expedition 42-43, flight engineer 2. And commander for Expedition 43. Terry Wirtz, flight engineer 2, commander of ISS 42. Backup crew, Oleg Kononenko, Soyuz commander and FE2 for ISS. Yuri Kimir, flight engineer. Kjell Lindgren, flight engineer for the Soyuz vehicle and the ISS. They have completed their training and successfully passed their tests and exams. The medical commission deemed the crew members ready and fit for the spaceflight. The State Commission and the Training Center for Cosmonauts and Astronauts reviewed the results and came to the conclusion that Expedition 42-43 crews for Soyuz TMI-15M are ready. The program for the pre-launch and the training for the launch have been completed successfully. According to the State Commission, concluded that commander for Soyuz vehicle Anton Shkaplerov and flight engineers Terry Wirtz and Samantha Cristoforetti are ready. The backup crew is Oleg Kononenko, Lindgren Kjell, and Kimi Yui.
Thank you very much. First, congratulations, Anton, Terry, Samantha, for completing all your training. Clearly, you're ready to go fly.
Большое спасибо за предоставленное слово. Прежде всего, хочу поздравить членов экипажа Терри и Саманту. Совершенно очевидно, что они успешно прошли программу подготовки.
I did want to mention that in spite of the unfortunate loss of the Orb-3 vehicle, we still have a very healthy logistics supply train and plenty of consumables and research on board to be performed.
Должен сказать, что несмотря на несчастный случай, который произошел с нашим грузовым кораблем, организация поставок на Международную космическую станцию идет своим ходом, и все необходимые ресурсы и расходный материал на станции имеются в достаточном количестве.
In addition, you have three critical USOS EVAs at the beginning of the year, where you'll begin configuring the US segment for docking vehicles once again.
В ходе вашей миссии предусмотрены три важнейших выхода в открытый космос с американского сегмента, в ходе одного из которых будет осуществлена поддержка стыковки следующего грузового космического корабля.
And you know, this is paving the way for commercial crew vehicles to arrive in ISS, hopefully late 17, early 18.
И таким образом вы подготовите основу для стыковки следующего коммерческого грузового корабля, которое произойдет предположительно в начале 2016 года, в конце 2016, в начале 2017 года.
So as you embark on your critical mission, I wish you good luck and Godspeed.
Итак, перед началом вашей критически важнейшей миссии хочу пожелать вам всего хорошего и с Богом.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to start congratulating Roscosmos and all our Russian colleagues for the flawless preparation of this mission.
Прежде всего, в начале своего выступления хочу поздравить Роскосмос и всех наших российских коллег с безупречной подготовкой миссии.
I would like to congratulate Anton, Terry and Samantha for the hard work they have put on the preparation of this mission, and I wish really a great mission today.
Хочу поздравить членов экипажа Антона, Терри и Саманту с прекрасно проведенной подготовкой и с их готовностью к предстоящей миссии.
A special word for our Samantha. We are very proud of her. All our team are behind her in order to support her mission. We are very proud of you, Samantha, of what you have done so far and what is ahead of you.
Особое поздравление у меня подготовлено для Саманты. Мы очень горды тобой, Саманта, горды тем, что ты уже выполнила и что тебе еще предстоит выполнить.
Thank you to the Italian Space Agency that has been allowed her agreement have been functional to Samantha being performing this mission.
Кроме того, хочу поблагодарить Итальянское космическое агентство, благодаря взаимодействию с которым стало возможным выполнение этой миссии.
Our system on orbit, on ground are ready. Our engineering team are there, and we are declaring that we are ready to support the increment 42. Thank you very much.
Уважаемый Олег Николаевич,
Dear Oleg Nikolaevich, dear members of the State Commission, crew for Soyuz Semi-15M is ready for the flight and for Expedition 42-43. And I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to all specialists who were training us for this mission. I would like to assure you that we're not going to let you down. We will work hard. And for our backup crew, I will see you in half a year. I'll see you soon, and they will finally become, after us, the prime crew. Samantha? Well, this is the end of our lengthy training, and I would like to just reiterate that, yes, we are ready. And I want to say a great thank you to everyone who participated in our training here in Star City, in Houston, in Japan, everywhere. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has prepared our vehicle for launch, and also to the search and rescue team who is going to find us once we land, and who are also supporting us during the launch. So I would like to also say thank you to the Italian Space Agency, to the European Space Agency as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Terry. You have the floor. Esteemed members of the State Commission, we are ready for the mission. I would like to say thank you for all the training that we received in Star City, in Houston, in Europe, and in Japan. It was an honor, and I was lucky to be a member of such a great crew and to be together with Anton Shkaplerov and Samantha Cristoforetti. So thank you. Thank you. Anton, Samantha, Terry, I would like to congratulate you with your certification and approval to be the prime crew. And I am sure, I have no doubts that you are going to complete all the tasks planned for your expedition, and you will perform wonderfully. It was an honor to know you personally. And I know that you're not going to let us down in anything. And it will unite us. And the success of the mission will unite us afterwards. So, good luck. Have a great mission. Godspeed, and we'll continue to work as planned. So, here are the prime and the backup crews for Expedition 4243. Commander of the Soyuz vehicle is Anton Shkaplerov.
Has confirmed the assignment of prime and backup crew. Prime crew consisting of Soyuz vehicle commander and ISS flight engineer Anton Shkaplerov.
Flight engineer for Soyuz is an Italian astronaut, Samantha Cristoforetti.
European Space Agency.
Flight engineer for the Soyuz vehicle and for the International Space Station for Expedition 4243 is a NASA astronaut, Terry Wirtz.
Flight engineer, Expedition 3 commander, Terry Wirtz, NASA.
The backup crew. Commander for the Soyuz vehicle, Roscosmos, cosmonaut Oleg Kononenko.
And ISS flight engineer.
Flight engineer for the Soyuz vehicle and the International Space Station, Yui Kimiya, JAXA, Japan. And flight engineer for the Soyuz vehicle and the International Space Station, Kjell Lindgren, NASA. Dear ladies and gentlemen, your questions are only welcome. The first question is from a NASA representative.
NASA television. I have two questions for Terry Wirtz. Terry, you're arriving at the International Space Station during one of the busiest periods in history. After being part of an assembly flight on the station almost 5 years ago, what are you looking forward to the most regarding the growth and maturity of the station and the gift of time over 5.5 months in which to savor the experience?
Thanks, Rob. The time that I flew before was the assembly time, like you talked about, and then the station transitioned into a utilization phase.
Во время моего первого полета на шаттле было активное строительство станции, и затем начался этап активного использования станции по назначению.
And now, like you said, we're moving into a new phase where we're very busy with getting the station ready for the future, for future vehicles and reconfiguration.
И сейчас нам предстоит выполнить очень много работы для того, чтобы подготовить станцию к реконфигурации для стыковки новых пилотируемых кораблей в будущем.
What I'm most looking forward to is spending time in the cupola. On my first flight, I delivered the cupola, but we were too busy to have time in it. And on this flight, I'm really looking forward to spending lots and lots of time in the cupola.
You did mention the reconfiguration of the station. You and Station Commander Barry Wilmore will conduct 3 spacewalks late January, early February to begin this critical work to prepare for this reconfiguration. What is the point of those 3 spacewalks? How critical are they to the future of station operations?
The first 2 spacewalks we do will be getting ready to install a docking adapter that the future American manned vehicles will be able to dock to. And the main goal there will be laying cables down for these docking adapters.
Первые 2 выхода в открытый космос будут в основном посвящены тому, чтобы подготовить стыковочный адаптер для стыковки будущих кораблей и также прокладки кабелей к стыковочному механизму.
And the third spacewalk will be primarily getting ready a communications box called C2V2 that's also used for the new American vehicles.
И второй выход будет посвящен тому, чтобы настроить, установить систему связи для так называемую C2V2 для стыковки будущих кораблей.
And then finally, we're doing some mechanical work on the arm to keep it in good shape. Just like you need to change the oil in your car, we need to work on the arm every few years to keep the station robotic arm in good shape.
Также нам предстоит провести ремонтно-восстановительные работы с манипулятором, которые необходимо выполнять каждые несколько лет для того, чтобы поддерживать манипулятор в хорошем состоянии.
And finally, these spacewalks are critical. Without these spacewalks, we would not be able to move the station into the future. So it's very important for upgrading the station for the future.
Большое спасибо. Пожалуйста.
Thank you very much. Roscosmos representative. Hello, this is Oleg from Roscosmos. The question is for Samantha Cristoforetti. You were training in the United States and in Russia. What is the difference in the training for cosmonauts and astronauts? Because in Russia, in Baikonur, there are a lot of traditions. Is there something comparable in the United States? Thank you. Well, I think the differences are very slight in the training for the crew members. And the training is very thorough. It's very important. The main difference in the United States, they use English. And in the Star City, they speak Russian. And so at the very end of the training, when you have your Soyuz training sessions, hands-on training, practical training, not just theoretical lectures. For us, non-Russian crew members, the difference is pretty big because you are training for the flight to the station and for the return. But in the United States, in Japan, and Europe, we are being trained for the operations on board the International Space Station. As for the traditions, it's better to ask Terry, and I think he will be able to answer this question better, because I am sure they had some traditions during the shuttle times. And let me answer the question in Italian now.
In Russia o negli Stati Uniti, risposta secondo me che alla fine delle differenze fondamentali non ci sono. Si tratta sia negli Stati Uniti che in Russia, che poi naturalmente anche in Europa, in Canada e in Giappone, di preparare gli astronauti al volo, e l'atteggiamento, l'attenzione al dettaglio è la stessa ovunque. La grande differenza naturalmente per noi che non siamo, per me e Terry in questo caso, c'è l'Echimia, che non siamo cosmonauti russi, e che a Star City, alla città delle stelle, ci siamo occupati delle fasi di lancio e di rientro sulla Soyuz, mentre negli Stati Uniti, in Canada, in Giappone, in Europa ci siamo occupati più che altro delle attività che faremo a bordo della stazione spaziale. C'era un'altra domanda che riguardava le tradizioni pre-lancio e se ci siano delle tradizioni simili negli Stati Uniti, ma questa l'ho cercato di riferirla a Terry perché io purtroppo non ho avuto ancora modo di volare dagli Stati Uniti.
In Russian? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, who has any other questions? Thank you.
Anna Giulia Scufari, I represent RT International. My question is to Samantha. Samantha, ciao. I would like to start by saying that as an Italian, it is for me an honor, and I feel very privileged to know that you will be going on this mission to space. So I would like to ask you, how does it feel to be the first female astronaut of Italy to go to space? And also, could you tell us a little bit more about the experiment that you will be doing on the influence of gravity on your dreams? Thank you.
I think one needs to distinguish what the significance is for something that you might do for the outside world that is watching and for yourself. I mean, I know for myself that I have done nothing special to be the first Italian woman to fly to space. I just wanted to fly to space, and I happened to be the first. So there's, if I had done everything the same, if I had worked as hard, and if I had the chance of becoming an astronaut, and if I had been the second, well, so what? For me, it would have been the same. And I understand, of course, that this has and may well have a significance for people who see this, and if this can be an inspiration for women in Italy and in Europe, I'm obviously very happy about that. I think there was
Thank you.
Part of the question was about the dreams, and that's going to be really short. I don't think there is an experiment about dreams, but there is an experiment of the Italian Space Agency about sleep and the quality of sleep, and the testing of a hypothesis about why sleep or the sleep quality in microgravity is not, usually is not as good as on Earth. So that is what it's going to be about. And I believe very shortly in Italian as well, I'm sorry. La domanda era che cosa significhi per me essere la prima donna italiana ad andare nello spazio. La risposta è stata che secondo me bisogna distinguere quella che può essere la prospettiva dall'esterno e la propria prospettiva di individuo. Da un mio punto di vista di individuo, il mio grande sogno è sempre stato quello di andare nello spazio, e se tutto fosse stato uguale nel mio percorso di preparazione e nella realizzazione di questo sogno, tranne il fatto di essere la seconda o la terza piuttosto che la prima, per me personalmente non sarebbe cambiato molto. Però naturalmente capisco che possa avere un significato e possa magari essere una fonte di ispirazione per altre donne in Italia, in Europa, e quindi questo naturalmente mi fa piacere. C'era una domanda sullo studio dei sogni nello spazio. Io avrò un esperimento dell'Agenzia Spaziale Italiana che non studia i sogni ma studia il sonno, e quindi testa un'ipotesi, si chiama wearable monitoring, e testa un'ipotesi di spiegazione del perché la qualità del sonno nello spazio non è altrettanto buona di quanto normalmente è a terra.
Good afternoon. This is Georgi for NTV station, and I have a question for Thierry Wirtz and Anton Shkaplerov. It's pretty much a historic mission because it's going to deliver your crew member, Samantha Cristoforetti, to the station, and you're going to have Yelena Serova and Samantha Cristoforetti for 4 months together on board the station with you. Do you have any concerns regarding that?
So how do you feel?
Well, you know, I think everything's going to be fine. Samantha and Yelena are highly professional crew members. They are just as much of a crew member as we are. We are a great team. We're training together. So no concerns here. Maybe Thierry has something to say. I absolutely agree with Anton.
Anton and I are a great crew. We work very well together, and I'm excited to fly with Samantha as an astronaut, and it's going to be a great mission.
Первый канал.
Channel 1. My question is for Samantha Cristoforetti. So the question is, I know that 2 women in 1 kitchen do not get along together, and you're going to be with Yelena on board. So are you going, also, since you're such a beautiful woman, and women sometimes like makeup, are you going to apply any makeup on board the station? Oh, hold on. What was the first question? Okay, 2 women, 2 housewives in 1 kitchen. Well, there are 2 kitchens on board the station, so there will be no problems.
Прошу вас, пожалуйста.
Maybe you should ask Terry. Maybe he wants to take some makeup with him. Oh, I just wanted to ask, are you going to take any makeup with you? So something that a woman usually takes on a trip. Samantha is going to have a great hairdresser. I'm not quite sure about the makeup, but I'm going to have a great hairstylist because Terry has been training so hard to give haircuts. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to be fine.
This is the question for all of you, for Terry, Anton, and Samantha. The same question for all of you. I need 3 words to describe this day, the day before the departure, in 3 words. I want to see if they are the same words. Starting from Terry in English, after Anton, and Samantha in Italian.
Вопрос для всех 3 членов экипажа. Терри может быть ответить на английском, и Антон, и Саманта. Затем ответить на итальянском, может быть. основные 3 слова, которыми вы можете описать в сегодняшний день вашу предстартовую подготовку и что вы чувствуете сейчас?
Dream come true.
Мечты сбываются.
If you want, I can change the question.
Уже ответил.
I have already given my response.
Счастлив,
Happy,
собран, полностью готов.
prepared, ready for the mission.
Ready to go.
End and new start. Forwards. End and new start.
Конец и начало следующий.
Samantha, ce le dici anche in italiano?
Un traguardo e un nuovo inizio.
Ok, invece da Samantha, che cosa hai fatto oggi, la giornata di oggi, come si è evoluta?
Ho già dimenticata la mattina. Ah no, è stata una giornata dedicata soprattutto alla famiglia e agli amici che sono venuti a salutarci, anche alcuni abbiamo avuto tutta una serie di incontri, alcuni proprio qui in questa sala attraverso questo vetro per non avere dei contatti diretti, questa mattina con i rappresentanti dell'Agenzia Spaziale Europea e dell'Agenzia Spaziale Italiana che hanno avuto così l'attenzione di venire qui a Baikonur per il mio lancio di domani. E anche così è stata anche un'opportunità per dare gli ultimi aggiornamenti, per esempio sullo stato degli esperimenti italiani, su tutta una serie di programmi anche come si dice, educazionali con le scuole che faremo durante la missione. E poi ho avuto la possibilità di incontrare, diciamo, il gruppo esteso, quindi le 16-17 persone che sono venute qui per il lancio, diciamo, che sono ospiti miei, la mia famiglia, i miei amici, e poi ho avuto insomma, un tempo più esteso per salutare i familiari più vicini.
Un'ultima domanda, come ti senti?
Cambio ogni momento, in momento molto coinvolta emotivamente, in altri momenti mi sento come in un film dove sto guardando qualcun altro che sta partendo invece che essere io, quindi un cambiamento continuo di prospettiva, diciamo, alle volte mi sento dentro, alle volte mi sento quasi fuori a guardarmi.
Good afternoon. It's our TARS. I have 2 questions. The first one goes to Anton. Could you please tell us if you're going to be using a new SKPI system? I know that crew members are going to start testing the system. Well, actually, if the system is delivered, then we will be testing it. But for now, no. And another question to the whole crew. Are you going to be blogging or being active on Twitter or maybe Facebook and keep up blogs? Yes, it's a very good tradition. I will actually have my own blog. And I will make my post pictures, write something about life on board, what we're doing, and it's going to be published on Roscosmos webpage, and then we're going to have the Twitter page and an Instagram page. I hope so. And it was the question to the whole crew. What about your other crew members? Of course, I'm hoping that I will have the time and the opportunity to be active in social networks. Of course, I hope that I will have my readers who would want to know more about space exploration and life in space. Of course, I'm going to have Twitter, Facebook, Google page, and Flickr.
If we're going to be active on social media and blog and things like that, so I just mentioned that I'll certainly have Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus and Flickr, and so for sure there's going to be plenty of ways to follow our mission.
Of course, I will be using nasa.gov website and then Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and I will be Astro Terry on Instagram. So there will be plenty of pages to follow.
Bentrovata Samantha. Eccoti qui vicino al tuo sogno, frutto di un lungo addestramento, una lunga formazione da anni. Quanto il background in aeronautica militare e quel tipo di addestramento ti è stato di aiuto, è stato importante, e un messaggio a tutto il personale dell'aeronautica che con passione e attenzione ti seguirà anche sui social.
Quello dell'astronauta è un mestiere dove ti rendi conto, soprattutto quando arrivi dove sono oggi, al giorno prima della partenza, che parti con tutta te stessa, con tutto il tuo background, con tutto quello che hai imparato nella vita. E sicuramente una parte importante del mio background professionale è il mio addestramento come pilota militare, anche se non ho mai avuto la possibilità di fare molta vita operativa a un gruppo di volo, però semplicemente il fatto di essere stata addestrata come pilota da combattimento mi ha dato molto in termini di competenze, ma anche di fiducia in me stessa, che sicuramente mi hanno aiutato, soprattutto nel ruolo di ingegnere di bordo della Soyuz, che richiede, insomma, la gestione di fasi molto dinamiche, molto critiche del volo spaziale. E un messaggio naturalmente a tutti i miei colleghi e colleghe dell'Arma Azzurra. Un grazie per tutto il calore che ho sentito intorno a me, per questo senso di appartenenza che sento sempre ogni volta che mi capita di ritornare in aeronautica militare per un qualunque motivo, anche se sono stata via ormai da diversi anni, però insomma ogni volta è come tornare in famiglia, quindi un grazie. E spero, insomma, che continuerete a seguirmi. Cercherò di condividere il più possibile di questa missione in modo da portare tutti quanti con me, quelli che vorranno, insomma, partecipare e seguire. The question was how much the training in the Italian Air Force, or in general my training as a pilot, has helped me in my training as an astronaut and in getting ready for the space flight. And I really feel when you get to this point, like on the day before the launch, I think you realize that you're going to space with all of yourself, with everything you've learned in your life, with all of your experiences, all of your background. And for me, of course, a big part is my background as a military pilot. Even if I wasn't for a long time, I didn't fly as a military pilot for a long time, but even just simply the fact of having been trained as a combat pilot has given me a lot of skills and the right mindset and the attention to detail and even the confidence in myself that I think has helped me a lot in my training, especially my Soyuz training.
My name is Mitina Yana. I'm from Yekaterinburg, and I have a question for the whole crew. Could you tell me if you were actually dreaming about spaceflight when you were a child? Well, hello. Thank you for such a nice question. And when I was, well, probably I can say for all three of us that we wanted to be crew members. We wanted to go to space. So we first of all became professional pilots, and then we have been chosen by our corresponding space agencies to become astronauts and cosmonauts. So we are here now. Thank you. Thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, more questions? Hello, I'm from Russia today, and I have a question for you, Anton. Could you please tell us what you feel about your first space flight and this upcoming mission? And then I have a question for Samantha Cristoforetti. You are going to be performing an experiment, drinking coffee in space. So aren't you concerned about that? Well, I can say for sure that right before my first expedition, I realized that I knew nothing about space. I was pretty nervous. Now my head is full, it's crammed with all the thoughts about this expedited scheme for the docking of the Soyuz, and I am not concerned at all. I am thinking about all the tasks that I will have to perform on board the station and what I will have to do within the first 6 hours after the launch.
I didn't know anything like Anton also, and I was very excited. But as a fighter pilot and test pilot, I'm able to not worry or not get too excited about things and just concentrate on the mission. But now that I know what space is like and I know how awesome it is, I do have a little bit of excitement to get back to seeing the Earth from space.
Well, I am not concerned about coffee and its influence on my sleep schedule. I have no trouble waking up.
There was a question about the coffee machine.
Sometimes maybe in the morning.
Coffee machine of the Italian Space Agency, an espresso machine, actually, that's coming up hopefully next spring. And the question was, why am I not afraid that it's going to have a bad effect on our sleep, so we will not be able to fall asleep at night, if I understood correctly. And my answer was that all my life I never had any problems falling asleep. The only problems I have is getting up in the morning, so I think it's going to be fine. In italiano, dunque, la domanda era se ho paura di qualche effetto negativo della macchina espresso in termini di qualità del sonno e di capacità di addormentarsi la sera, e la mia risposta è che io personalmente nella mia vita non ho mai avuto problemi ad addormentarmi la sera, ma semmai svegliarmi la mattina, quindi il caffè probabilmente aiuterà soltanto.
This is Volsky Community, Samara. The question is for Kimi and Chel. You have inspected the Proton rocket, so what are your thoughts about the rocket itself?
Well, it's a beautiful rocket. I'm very excited for the prime crew to be able to fly on it. After we returned yesterday, I reported to Anton and Samantha and Terry that they have a beautiful vehicle waiting for them on their launch day.
Yes, it was a wonderful experience, and as Chal already said, it's a beauty. It's a huge rocket. It's the rocket that is going to bring us to the space station. So I felt so tiny in comparison to it. And I was really excited about to see the rocket that will bring me to the space station.
Hi, my name is Philip. I'm a student. I want to ask Terry a question. What would be the most important things for you at the start and in the process of rocket launch?
Вопрос для Терри. Что станут основными, самыми важными вещами для вас во время старта?
So during the process of launch, the most important thing for the crew is to monitor all the procedures and steps that happen during launch, so that we're ready to take action в случае аварии, in case there's a problem.
Во время процесса выведения самое главное для нас — это работать и отслеживать, контролировать выполнение всех действий в соответствии с бортовой документацией, чтобы быть всегда готовым в случае возникновения нештатной ситуации.
Immediately after that, it's important to realize that all of a sudden you're in space, you're weightless, and you're in a completely alien environment, and it happens immediately. There's no transition period. So you have to be ready for that immediate transition from gravity to weightlessness. It's a big change that you just have never experienced in your life before.
Rob Navius, NASA TV, once again for Terry. A year from now, the station is going to mark the 15th anniversary of its human occupancy, permanent occupancy. How significant is that achievement in your mind, and how struck are you by the accomplishments that have been achieved over a decade and a half on this facility?
Well, first of all, congratulations on the 100th anniversary of NACA, the precursor of NASA today, the original American Aerospace Agency. And as far as the space station goes, I think that 100 years from now, 500 years from now, people will look back on this as the initial baby steps that we took going into the solar system. And the same way that we look back on Columbus and the other explorers 500 years ago, this is the way people will look at this time in history.
Прежде всего, позвольте поздравить с этой замечательной датой, годовщиной. И я думаю, что через 100 или 500 лет люди будут оглядываться назад и смотреть на станцию как первый шаг в освоении дальнего космоса. И
And the second part of the question, Rob, as far as the accomplishments, technologically, the space station is amazing in its size, complexity, and what it's able to do. But more important than that, the international relations that we've built and sustained and the cooperation that we've shown, I think, will ultimately be the best accomplishment. It's the most amazing accomplishment of the International Space Station is the friendship that we have.
И по поводу второй части вопроса, по поводу достижения, технических достижений в области станции. Разумеется, станция в плане техники является огромным достижением, огромная конструкция, размеры, но самое главное — это то, что это результат международного сотрудничества, и это является символом нашей работы совместной.
Unfortunately, the time is up for our press conference, and let's say thank you to the crew members. And could you please stand together for the pictures? Or maybe we can move the chairs a little bit. And let's take the picture for the prime crew, of the prime crew. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, my colleagues, and let's wish good luck to the crew members. Godspeed.